go. All right, so almost done now. So here it was again. We have to notice it, and we have to interpret it as an emergency. We already said that. But we have to take responsibility, okay? One of the most interesting ones, there was a classic, I mean, there's some good YouTube videos on this one. The radio on a blanket one. They have this woman come in, and she sets up all of her stuff on the beach, and she puts out her radio on the blanket, and then she stands up, and she walks to the restroom or something. She leaves, and then an actor comes by, you know, of course, you know, whatever, works for the experimenter, any Confederate, comes by and picks up the radio and just walks off with it. And you can see on the camera, the people that are on the towels next to it, they see that, wait a minute, this dude shouldn't be, this doesn't really look like, all right? But if this woman, she puts down her towel, she puts on her radio, and then she says, hey, can you watch my stuff for a second? And then she goes to the bathroom. If somebody picks up that radio, those other people around will immediately swarm that person that picked up the radio. All she had to say was, hey, can you watch my stuff for a second? All of a sudden, there is no more, there is no possible way that you can justify it as you didn't interpret it as a problem, okay? It is a problem. In fact, they recently redid this study, and they played it on primetime television, and it's up on YouTube, and check it out. It is hilarious. I mean, one guy chases down the guy with the radio and just beats him senseless, you know, and the poor guy just works for, you know, NBC, and he just gets beaten over there. Well, they've done the same types of things. They've done ones where, you know, they have two people having a conversation via headphones and a microphone, and they don't see each other. They're in different rooms, and one of them, oh my God, I'm having a seizure. I need a, right? And if there's one other person in the conversation, that one person very quickly jumps out, try to find the experimenter. Hey, the other person needs help, okay? But how about if there's 10 people in that conversation, having a group conversation, and one person goes and says they have a seizure and needs medical help? All 9 of the people in that conversation do nothing. They just sit there and nothing happens. All right. So personality traits, we had already said, I don't know about that. There's not much. I mean, like we said, perhaps that bald dude in the river, maybe there was something about him. But there's no way that 38 people have, you know, moral deficiency. There really isn't very much. But we find that intrinsically religious people are slightly more likely to help people in a spontaneous situation. But if allowed to plan ahead, religious people are way more helpful, okay? Like weekly attenders at church, which are about 24% of Americans, give 48% of all philanthropic contributions. All right? Mood. People who are in a good mood. People that are in a good mood are much more helpful. That's a fact. Maybe it's like the universe put me in a good mood, so I owe the universe back, perhaps. How about guilt? It works in the opposite way, too. There was a funny, I'd love to see this study. A person is walking with their bags of groceries. I don't know how they do this. And then they stop, and they have a camera, and they say, hey, can you take my picture? And they're holding the groceries, and take my picture here. And so this poor innocent person just walking by, but they set it up so that when you press the button, it just goes, and it breaks. You know, and it's like, oh shit, I broke the camera, you know. And this person with these groceries goes, oh my God, you broke my camera. Oh, I guess it's not your fault, you know. They put the camera away, and then they begin to walk away. And when they begin to walk away, the bag of groceries rips open and drops all over the ground. And there's just 100 items on the ground. And so what happened was that when if they thought they broke this camera, they were so helpful. Like somehow this would alleviate their guilt. Same scenario, but they didn't break the camera, and the bag breaks, and people just walk off. Okay, so there's something about the guilt that you know, negative state relief model, right? How about anonymity? A lot of times people don't help because they're anonymous, and there's no cost to not helping if people don't see who you are. This is obviously related to the notion that anonymous people are more likely to be aggressive as well. And so what we find is that if you can reduce the anonymity, people are going to be more helpful. Okay? A couple of different techniques. Door in the face technique. Yeah, here's a classic one. They did this one where they go through and they say, okay, here in two different studies. In one of them, can we put this sign in your front yard? This great big drive safely sign, crudely drawn with children's crayon. People are like, no. They go, okay, can we put this window sticker? And people are like, yes, yes, you can put the window sticker. Okay, if you just ask window sticker alone, about half the people will say yes. But if you first ask about the sign and then ask the window sticker, people are like 90% of the time will say yes. Same thing if you want people to volunteer at a homeless shelter, right? Or no, you go to people and you say, would you volunteer at a homeless shelter? I just don't have time. All right, can you at least sign this petition to increase funding for? Oh yeah, sure. I'll fill out that. And so people will, if you want a small thing, ask them a big thing first, and then the small thing. They can't say no to the small thing because they just said no to the big thing and they feel kind of guilty about it. But it worked. Where is it? It's related to the foot in the door. Where is a foot? Remember foot in the door? That was another chapter on persuasion, wasn't it? We talked about the same study, but with different words, didn't we? Okay. Information, yeah, okay. I don't even know what that's saying. Can we, can we teach our children? Yeah, we can. Moral exclusion is this notion that, remember we talked about in-group and out-group. And often, I mean, it's human nature. We view people that are part of the out-group as somehow different than people from the in-group. They're different from we are. Somehow, they're different. They're almost a different species, right? A different type of creature than we are. Well, if that's true, then different moral rules would apply to those people, okay? Well, we can teach children moral inclusion, that even those people that are not members of your family also deserve the same respect. They are human beings and have the same emotions and the same feelings. We can teach our children that the moral responsibility we hold goes not just to our in-group, but to our out-group as well. Pro-social models can increase altruistic behavior, like Sesame Street. That's why they invented Sesame Street, to counteract all of the negative stuff that was out there. Okay. And so we'll be done with helping on that one. That's the end of the material for the third quiz. So far, it's been fun. It's been great. We got one last unit left with, I believe there's one more chapter on conflict and peacemaking, and then we're into the applications of social psychology. So we're definitely getting around the corner and getting towards the end of this material. So I will see you the next time on The Price is Right. I don't know. You got